Good morning. Good Sunday morning, Sunday, February 21st, 2021. And I am broadcasting to you from the Haftorahman library. I hope you can hear me. I hope you can see me. And the first thing I wanted to do today was do a brief 5-minute recap of yesterday's Haftarah. Yesterday was Shabbat, and the Shabbat had a special name because it was called Shabbat Zachor. And the word Zachor means to remember. Ironically, it is instructing us to remember to destroy a nation of Amalekites, and I'll explain in a minute. So this is the supplemental reading that is read on the Shabbat before Purim. Now, Purim is the holiday that's coming up next week, and in it there is the villain, Haman Harasha, Haman Ha'agagi, that the Haman was trying to get the king Achashverosh to give him permission to obliterate all the Jewish people in Persia, my homeland. And what's happening here is you have this recollection of, in the Torah, in the Bible, when the Israelites left Egypt, the Amalekites came after them. And God didn't like that, especially that the Amalekites were cousins of the Israelites. Their ancestors was Jacob's brother, Esau. This continues when you have Israel, the state of Israel, and this Haftarah is about, this supplemental reading from the prophets was read yesterday, is the story about how Samuel, Shaul, the final judge, the final shofet of the Israelites, was then instructed to tell the first monarch, the first king of Israel, Saul, that he had to deal with the Amalekite situation and exterminate all of them for what they did back then. I'll explain. Now, it's a very exciting story, and I don't want to get carried away with it. Briefly, what happens is, we started, Samuel, the prophet and judge, gave instructions to Shaul to wipe out all of the Amalekites. And he did so except one man, the head honcho, Agag. And he puts him in a holding pen and imprisons him. And he also, Shaul was instructed to keep no animals from these Amalekites. Also slaughter them as well. Well, he didn't do that. And he was dethroned because of it. Here's where I want to emphasize this morning, is that you have two fundamental philosophies, if you want to call it that, or ways of worshiping God. In those days, 3,500 years ago, everybody had a God pretty much. Everybody would worship God. But here's the fundamental difference. The God, let me see if I can find this easily. The God had two approaches. One, here, you can see escalators. I also picked elevators. Now, both of them go up, elevate, escalate, but they also go down just as much. But they got the up name in their name. And this is the fundamental difference between Judaism and paganism. Jewish people say we are physical beings and we will take our bodies and we will elevate ourselves into soul territory where God is and where the eternal is. The physical is temporal. So paganism, if you think about their idol worshiping, what they would do is they would say, yes, we worship God, our God. However, what we're going to do is we're going to give God a treat, and we're going to take him out of the heavens, and we're going to bring God down, whichever one that they worshiped, Asherah, Baal, Molech, those fertility, war, agricultural gods. And what we're going to do is we're going to let them come down here, and in a physical form, some made statues and idols and other things. And that's the story of the elevators and the escalators. How Jewish people elevate and purify and make holy the world that they live in anticipation of the destination of the eternal. And that is that we want to eliminate all physicality. And what we want to do is we want to bring spirituality. Whereas 3,500 years ago, further back, less, those people, the pagans, they brought God down to earth, right? Come down to earth. So this is why we read on Shabbat Zachor, last Shabbat, this story about remember to be clear on how you distinguish yourself with your worshiping of God. God is holy. God is not physical. God is elevated. And you're going to want to go in that direction, holy and elevated. And you could see how Judaism endures. It's not the right religion. It is, I will tell you, the number one system in the world. And it works remarkably. And the more Judaism is used and participated and shared, the fortification of that system perpetuates and helps it endure. So I thank you all for listening. I hope you got something out of it. Please sign up for when I go online that you can see me. And also, I hope you liked it. Share it with your friends. God bless you. Shavua Tov.